What's up, my fellow yarn bombers? It is I, the Crafty Crocheter, and welcome to the third episode in a series of Crochet 101 videos. Now, these videos are aimed for those who are absolute beginners when it comes to crocheting, or for those who have crocheted for a while and basically don't remember how to perform the fundamentals of crocheting, and so this is for you as well. So, in today's episode, I'm going to show you some of the basic stitches you'll need to successfully crochet any type of project that's laid before you. Now, I think there's a few that come to mind when it comes to fundamental stitches, and I'll go into those into detail throughout this video. So the first one is going to be the chain stitch, which is your basic fundamental stitch for any project. And then the second is your slip stitch, which is another fundamental one, which is another fundamental one. So, and then the third one is your single crochet, or for UK users, a double crochet. And then next, the fourth one is your half double crochet. And the next one, your fifth one, is your double crochet, or for those in the UK, a treble crochet. And then finally, actually do two more. Then the sixth one is going to be your triple crochet, or in the UK, or called a treble, or for the UK, it's a double treble. And then finally, your seventh one is your quadruple crochet, or for those in the UK, a triple treble. So I'll go into each one in detail on how to perform the stitches, and then I'll also include how to, when it says to chain a certain amount and turn your work, I'll show you what to do for each of those stitches as well. So if you're ready, grab your crochet hook, grab some yarn, and let's get this crocheting party started. All right, so let's get started with how to get your chain stitches going. Now, for any project, you can do what's known as a slip knot. Let me move this all the way. As a slip knot, and you can do this several ways, but the way I like to do it is what I call the pretzel method. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece of yarn, loop it over to the left side, so this piece is overlapping, so that this strand of yarn is overlapping this strand here. So you're taking this over, then you're looping it around this way. Then you're going to take this top strand, and you're going to take it behind this loop, and then once you pull that apart, you'll see what is known as the pretzel, because it looks like a pretzel. And then to finish off the slip knot, you're going to take a crochet hook and go behind this strand here and go out again, so that your crochet hook is behind that strand of yarn. And then once you have that secure in place, take your thumb and your forefinger or your middle finger and just hold these two pieces of yarn and just pull like so. Of course, you can create your slip knot, or you can just do a standard knot if you wish. It just depends on your preferential style. So we're going to go ahead and start what's known as a chain stitch, and the chain stitch is basically your fundamental stitches for any row. So I'm going to go ahead, and since we're just going to do different stitches, or fundamental stitches for demonstrational purposes, I'm going to chain 10. So you're going to yarn over, take your hook and go through that loop, and there's your chain stitch. Again, yarn over, pull through, that's your second chain stitch. Yarn over, pull through that loop, and there's your third chain stitch. And then yarn over, pull through, that's your fourth one. Yarn over, pull through, that's your fifth. And you're going to keep doing this until you get to the amount of chains you want. And then I'm going to do 10 for this example. I should do 11, because I'll show you why in a minute. So I have my foundation chain ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and move into what's known as the slip stitch. So to start the slip stitch, you're just going to take your hook, skip the first chain from hook, and go into the second. Then you'll have your two loops on your hook. And then to complete the slip stitch, you're going to take this strand of yarn and pull through both of these loops. And then that is your slip stitch. I'll go ahead and do that one more time. Take your hook, go into the next chain, You have your 2 loops on the hook, and then pull this yarn through both of these loops. Again, then you're gonna just go into the next chain, your 2 loops in the hook, then you're just gonna pull the yarn through both of those loops. And that is basically your slip stitch, and that's what it looks like. Actually, you know what? I have some swatches here. Let me find it. Let me make sure I got the right one. Yep. And this is what your completed slip stitches are going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and unravel these 3. And then we're going to move on to the single crochet, or your double crochet for our UK users. So the next thing you're going to do, again, skip the first chain from hook and then go into the next chain. You got your 2 loops on the hook, then you're going to take your yarn, pull through the first loop only, and then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Then go into the next chain. Oops, to the next chain. Then you're going to pull up, then pull through the first 2 loops. Go into the next chain, pull the yarn up, then you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and then pull through those 2 loops. And then I'm going to continue down the row because I'm going to show you what to do when you have to chain and turn your work. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Then make sure you put your hook into that next chain, pull up, you got 2 loops in your hook, yarn over, remember, going to the next chain, pull up, you have 2 loops in your hook, then yarn over, then pull through those 2 loops, and do the same thing for the last. All right, so then that is the end of your first row of single crochet stitches. Now when you see instructions saying to chain and turn, for single crochet stitches, you're only going to chain 1. So you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work. So this is basically going to act like your first foundation row, because you're going to skip this first chain and go into the next stitch to start your next row of single crochets. So once you then go ahead, skip into that, then you're just going to do as before, then go into the next stitch, pull up, 2 loops in your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then you're going to keep doing that down the line. And then this is what your row of single crochets are going to look like once you have those all done. And then we're going to move on next to the half double crochet stitches. All right, so to start your half double crochet, you're going to do as before, skip the first chain from hook and then go into the second chain. Actually, no, you got to yarn over first, then go into the second chain from hook. Then that way you'll have 3 loops on your hook. See the 3 loops on your hook? Then for the half double crochet, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. Then again, make sure you yarn over, go into the next chain, pull that through, then you'll have your 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and then pull through all 3 loops, yarn over, go into the next stitch or the next chain, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, then pull through all 3 loops. And you're going to continue that down to the end of the line. So I'm going to continue the rest of this off camera, then I'm going to show you what to do to start the next row. Okay, so this is the end of the row of your half double crochet stitches. And so to start a new row of half double crochet stitches, you're going to chain 2. Because that chain 2 is going to count as, supposed to count as your half double. Then you're going to turn your work and then yarn over, and then go into the next stitch. After that, again, you'll have your 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through those 3 loops. And then you're going to repeat the process like you did for the first row. So yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull that yarn through, then you have your 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, and pull through all 3 loops. And you get basically repeating that process until you get to the end. So I'm going to do one more with you. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull that yarn through for your 3rd loop on the hook, yarn over again, and then pull through all 3 loops. And that is what it's going to look like when you do continuous rows of half double crochets. And then I have a swatch of it, of what your half doubles are going to look like for the initial row. Let's go this way. There you go. Next, I'm going to show you how to work the double crochet. Alright, so next stitch we're going to work on is what's known as a double crochet, or for the UK users, a treble crochet. So to work your double crochet, you're going to yarn over, skip your first chain from hook, actually skip the 3 chains from hook, and then go into the 4th chain. And then yarn over as before, like you did with your half double. You'll have your 3 loops on the hook, then you're going to yarn over, and for your double crochet, you're going to pull through the first 2 loops only. And then once you do that, you should have 2 loops remaining on your hook. Then to finish this off, you're going to yarn over again, and then pull through the remaining 2. Yarn over, go into the next chain or stitch, pull that yarn through for your 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And basically you're going to repeat this until you get down to the end of the row. So like I did here, so you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch or chain, then you're going to pull your yarn through that chain or stitch for your 3 loops on the hook. Then you're going to yarn over again, pull your yarn through the first 2 loops only, then yarn over, pull through the last 2. And you're going to continue this down to the end of the row. So I'm going to continue this off camera, and then I'm going to show you what to do to start a new row of double crochet stitches. Alright, and this is the end of our row of double crochet stitches, and I do have another swatch of what your double crochets should look like. And then to start your next row of double crochets, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this will usually count as your first double crochet of the row. So you got to turn your work, yarn over, go into the first stitch of the row right here. So you're counting, skipping the 3 from the hook and go into the 4th. And then you got your 3 loops on the hook as before. Then you're going to yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Again, you're going to repeat that down the line. Again, do one more, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull that yarn through that stitch or loop. Then you're going to have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull your yarn through the first 2 loops. Then you'll have 2 loops remaining on your hook, yarn over, and then pull through the last 2. And you're going to continue this down, repeat this on and off until you get to the amount of rows you want. So the next stitch I'm going to show you how to do is what's known as a triple crochet. Okay, so the next stitch I'm going to show you how to do is what's known as a triple crochet, or a double treble if you're using UK terms. And I'll annotate all of the stitches within this video, so that way you know, for if you're using US terms or if you're using UK terms, you'll know what I'm talking about. So to start your, and I am using US terms in this, all right, so to start your first row of triple crochets, you're going to skip 4 from the chain, because your 4 chains are going to count as your first triple crochet. So you're going to yarn over twice. So you'll have 3 loops on your hook, and then skip 4 chains from hook and go into the 5th chain or 5th stitch, pull that loop up. Then you'll have 4 loops on your hook. And then you're basically doing the same thing as you did for your double crochets, but you're doing this 3 times, which is why it's called a triple crochet. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, you'll have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over, pull through the last 2, and then you just completed your triple crochet. I'll do that one more time. So yarn over twice for your triple crochet, go into the next stitch, then take your hook, pull up that yarn through that first initial chain or stitch. Again, you'll have your 4 loops on the hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And you're going to continue this down the row until you get to the very end. Again, pull through the first 2, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. I'll do one more. Yarn over twice on your hook, then go into the next stitch or chain, and then pull that loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. You'll have 3 remaining. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. You'll have 2 remaining. Yarn over, pull through the last 2. And I'm going to work the rest of this row off camera, then I'll show you what to do to start a new row of triple crochets. Alright, so this is what your row of triple crochet should look like, and I actually have another swatch with a sample of what your triple crochets should look like. Now to start a new row of triple crochets, you're going to chain 4. 2, 3, and 4. And this will count as your first triple crochet of the row. So then you're going to turn your work. Then again, like you did before, you're going to yarn over twice on your hook. And then take your hook and go into the first chain or the first stitch of the row. Pull that yarn through. Then you're going to have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, 3 loops remaining. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, 2 remaining. Yarn over, pull through the last 2, and you only should have 1 loop left on your hook. Again, I'm going to do this one more time. Yarn over twice. Take your hook, go into the next stitch. Then pull the yarn through that loop only. Then you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. Yarn over, pull through the last 2. And you're basically repeating this down the line until you get to the end of the row. And so the next stitch I'm going to show you how to do is what's known as a quadruple crochet. Okay folks, so the last stitch I'm going to show you in this video is what's known as a quadruple crochet or a triple treble for our UK users. So to start the row of quadruple crochets, you're going to skip 5 from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to into the 6th chain. Is where you're going to insert your hook. But first, you're going to have to yarn over 3 times for your quadruple crochet. Remember, skip 5 from the hook, and then in the 6th chain or stitch, you're going to insert your hook and then pull that yarn through that stitch only. Then you'll have 5 loops on your hook. And as before with your triple and your double crochet, you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, then you'll have 4 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, you'll have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, then you should have 2 loops on your hook. Then yarn over, pull through the final 2. And then that is your quadruple crochet. Again, for the next one, go ahead and yarn over 3 times on your hook. Then take your hook, go into the next stitch or your next chain, pull that yarn through that chain only or that stitch only. Then you'll have your 5 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, 4 loops remaining. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, 3 remaining. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, 2 remaining. Yarn over, pull through the final 2, and then you should have 1 loop left on your hook. And then you're going to repeat this down to the end. And then I'm going to work the rest of this off camera, then I'll show you what to do to start a new row of quadruple crochets. Alright, so this is what your row of quadruple crochets should look like, and I have a swatch already made for the stitches. So here's what the quadruple crochet should look like, which is what this looks like. So to start a new row of quadruple crochets, you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these 5 chains should usually count as your first quadruple crochet. Then you're going to turn your work, and as before, you're going to yarn over 3 times on your hook. Then take your crochet hook and go into the first stitch of the new row. Then you should have 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then yarn over, pull through the first 2. You'll have 4 left over. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. 3 left over. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. 2 left over. Yarn over, pull through the last 2, and you should have 1 loop remaining. And basically, you're going to repeat this down to the end of the row. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you perform all your fundamental stitches for crocheting. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video as much fun as I had creating it, and I hope these stitches will allow you to build upon that and permit you to take on simple crochet projects and move on up to more advanced projects, because these fundamental stitches are basically a necessity in order to crochet successfully. And then I can show you an example of all of the stitches in action. So this leaf is for a poinsettia project I'm working on. So you see how you start with your single crochets, and then you're doing a half double, double, triple, quadruple, then you're going back down again. So this is why learning the fundamental stitches is very important in crocheting. And also as time progresses and you move on to more projects, you'll learn new stitches, and then these basic stitches will come into play as you learn newer stitches, like the picot stitch or any other new advanced stitches that you are going to work on. So I hope everyone's day is going well today. Don't forget to grab your crochet hooks, grab that yarn, and create something beautiful today. Spread love and not hate. Love each other, help each other out, be there for one another. Love yourself, because you are the most important person in the universe. You're unique, you're special. Stay true to yourself. Don't let anyone deter you from that path. And we got to spread love and beauty throughout the universe, and we got to yarn bomb this MFR. So and on that note, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos are being released. And as a side note, I did finish a project I was working on. You may have seen it in my live stream. It was for the chunky cupcake set. It was like a little stocking cap. Actually, I got it done. And this is supposed to be like a woman's hat, so it's kind of tight on me. It's a little too small for me, but it was a lot of fun making it. I may do this as a pattern, so let me know if you're interested in the pattern for this hat. Now, on that note, take care of yourselves and each other.